Hello everyone. Hope all of you are doing good and are safe at your home or in a safe place during this time. Uh, so today we are going to cover a topic that's pretty close to all of us, I guess. It's uh, cloud. Everybody knows cloud is the next big thing, right? So Reseller Club has actually taken a stab at its first pure cloud product as such. And this is something that we have built in collaboration with Google Cloud. So very excited to take you through the product and also how the product is different and what are the use cases and stuff around this. So yeah, please let your questions flow. I will try and take them at the end of the session. And yeah, please feel free to ask any questions that you have with this. So before we get uh, into this, I just wanted to give you a small introduction about myself. If you have been with Reseller Club and you have attended our physical events, you might have met with me. So my name is Pratik Jagdishwala. I have been with Reseller Club for over 16 years now. So I have experience in the hosting industry for the last 16 years. So I have seen it evolve from the 1 MB, 2 MB web packages days to what it is right now. Um I look at all hosting products for multiple of endurance or Newfold digital brands now. Reseller Club being one of the brand. So yeah, again, a lot of this has been built from our experience and what we hear from you, the customer, right? We've spoken to you multiple times, and based on that, this product has been built. So yeah, let's go through this. So before we get into this, so one data point that we I wanted to share with you was what's the hosting market size like, as in if you look at how many hosting units as in how many hosting units do we actually get in a month. When I say when we get in a month, what's the industry size, like how many domain names are registered, how many of them are not hosted versus how many of them are hosted. So if you look at this gives you a fair representation of how the industry is. So out of everything that's registered, frankly, 50% of these domain names are either used for parking or forwarding or just emails or something. There is no hosting that happens on these domain names. 10% of this is what DIYers or DIY website builders and stuff. These are the guys who host using those portals, and the remaining 40%. So that's a big chunk of uh, domain names go for traditional hosting. When I say traditional hosting, that can be either your traditional shared hosting, servers, dedicated, cloud, enterprise, any of these hosting. So for India, the number roughly is around 300K new domain names added per month. So again, when I say this is the number for India, these are numbers registered for domain names of websites in India, not via Indian registrars. The number with Indian registrars is a lot higher, but this is approximately what the number we think is what's available every time in the market. So that would mean that around 120K hosting domain names are looking for hosting every month. So the market is pretty big and it's growing. It's growing year on year. We've seen that, and COVID has obviously given a push to that as well. So what's the size actually, right? What is the growth when you see as that? So 2019 web hosting market was sized at around $56.7 billion. So that was pretty crazy, and it's expected to grow at a CAGR of around 15.5% from 2020 to 2027. So it's obviously not going to go down. And again, this number had obviously an unrealistic bump due to the COVID upside, but without that, also this is what the expectation already was set in. So you see that this is a market that obviously has opportunity, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. Uh, One thing that I wanted to share is in 2019, uh, your traditional shared hosting, right? The traditional shared, the cPanel plus and the panel-based shared hosting contributed to only 37.64% of the overall hosting revenue. That means that servers, cloud, and the other hosting products shared a lot bigger portion of this revenue. That just shows that okay, shared at one point in time it was leading. It was like 80% of the overall revenue. Now it's going down. The percentage is slowly dropping, and servers and cloud is what's growing a lot. Uh, in this, obviously, while a lot of this is going to be enterprise driven revenue, right? So there are multiple types of cloud. There is public cloud, there is private cloud, there is enterprise cloud, there is hybrid cloud. Out of this, enterprises obviously have a bigger share, but still SMMEs, it's the small medium enterprises still will drive 15% of this revenue. And as per Gartner, servers will double revenue from 2020 to 2022, as in, so from 60 billion, that's only cloud servers revenue, IaaS. This is infra, this is not any service, not a SaaS product or something, just infrastructure to run your websites. That's going to grow from 60 billion to 110 billion. So that's a very big jump. Again, COVID-19, as I said, jump started this trend, and it's again, it's just what it led to is smaller organizations, smaller SMEs, mom and pop shops, and a lot of smaller businesses wanting to be present online, because with physical presence not possible, physical visits not possible, a new trend in business started. Everybody wanted a presence online. They wanted to be online. People can purchase from that. uh, Obviously Amazons and Flipkarts and all help that, but people still wanted to create their online identity, right? Like how they normally see that identity when they go to a physical mall or something. They still they wanted to ensure that that identity still exists for them even in the marketplace. They need to be searched by their brand rather than being a generic provider in the market. Cloud hosting, what essentially is cloud hosting, right? So cloud hosting, I would say, is divided into two major components. Uh, One is what you call as IaaS. Those are the services that a lot of you might be aware of. They are used very loosely, frankly. Uh, any virtualized products of VMs, that is virtual machines, VPSs, dedicated servers. There might be high memory servers, high CPU servers, GPU servers. There are multiple types of servers that are there in the market. Uh, so you can use this, but the only thing is you need to figure out, buy these components, uh, configure it yourself, design, architect it yourself, and go and deploy it based on your use case. So that's a one part of it. Similarly, with those VMs and stuff, you also have specialized uh, storages. You have SAN network storages, SAN storages, you have storages. You obviously, on a computer machine, you can have a hard drive of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 TBs. But if you need big storage units and stuff, you can't go traditional boxes, right? You can't, there is a limit, upper limit that exists. So for that, you need bigger storage. You have self storage, you have multiple different types of storages. You have cloud DBs and stuff that are there. I'm sure you have heard of cloud SQL and stuff. People, DB as a service in the market. So that's something that comes in. So you can run that. You have a lot of networking components, load balancers, um, private networking, public networking. All of this comprises of IaaS within the cloud servers. And the other part is the cloud services, right? So these services are either uh, you say abstraction built on top of these services, or they are services by itself. So for example, Docker, Google Kubernetes, that's there. So these run as, they are kind of running as virtual machines, but they are independent of the bottom underlying platform and stuff. Serverless, you might have heard of these things. You have redundant zones, a lot of services and stuff as well, right? So this mainly forms your cloud hosting. So the biggest, I believe, cloud hosting this is again, I have given a very high level overview of cloud. Cloud comprises of hundreds of more components. This is so that you just understand the difference between the IaaS and services as such. So Google Cloud, I'm sure everybody has heard of Google Cloud, right? So again, if you have heard of Google Cloud, uh, uh, what services do you think Google Cloud powers? As in, uh, I'm sure all of us have used one or more of these services, or actually keep on continuing using these services. So everything from Google search to Google ads to Google workspace, that includes Gmail, calendar, drive, meets, and uh, Google photos, AdSense, YouTube, just naming a few, right? All of these services are run on the platform that was built by Google. So again, I'm sure all of you have done this once in your lifetime for sure. If there is some problem with the internet, the first thing you open is Google, right? You know Google is never going to be down. So that's the reliability that you associate with Google. And Google Cloud Platform is the platform that gives them this reliability. So Google decided to share platform and also use this as a platform uh, for uh, for your and my sites. So that's what Google decided to do, and this is what we obviously wanted to go and use. One big concern, but while cloud has all these benefits, right? It has all this security and performance and everything that's there. There are concerns as well, right? What are the concerns that cloud has? Uh, I would start with complexity. This frankly is one of the biggest concerns with cloud. As I said, cloud has 100, 150, 200 or more components. For you to know or master everything, it's almost impossible. For one person to know every part of every component that's given in cloud is nearly impossible. Maybe there are gurus out there who know everything from every platform, but to try and get to that level, you take ages. And the bigger problem is that keeps on changing. If you have followed Google or AWS or Azure, all of these services, something or the other is always introduced every month in that. So you need to know how that component performs, what that component delivers, how is it better from the older component, how to use that component in the correct way and stuff. Uh, so that now comes to tech knowledge, right? What's the correct architecture? You can achieve a particular architecture using three different combinations of components. So which is the correct architecture? Is it a trial and error? You keep on trying out one component at a time for a month, then you try another architecture, then you try another architecture. Is that the way? Let's say if you are using some form of SQL, a new version comes in. Is that going to be more beneficial to you, or is the older one going to be better? Do you know, can you actually run these experiments without any impact, or do you just keep on running as it is? uh, Long-term maintenance strategies, right? While cloud gives you all the components that you need, uh, you have to ensure that you are managing again, this one depends on how you have architected your solution, right? There are updates that are going to come in, version updates, version upgrades, vulnerabilities that are there, patches that are coming up. If you created a architecture that supported let's say 10,000 hits in 1 minute, now let's say your client site is growing, it's going great, they want 20, 30,000 clicks per minute when it comes to sales like Black Friday, or there are particular sales. What do you do in that case, right? uh, you can't keep on just growing horizontally or vertically, as in not all applications grow horizontally. You can't keep on adding server 1, server 2, server 3, server 4 every time. Neither can you start increasing, saying that okay, if my current architecture is running with, let's say, 5 core CPU, 6 core CPUs and 20 gig RAM, I'll go to 10 core CPU and 40 gig RAM. There is always going to be an upper limit in one way or the other, or there is going to be some bottleneck you hit. It might be DB storage, it might be database IOPS, it might be speed of execution. So there is something or the other you're always going to encounter or hit a snag into. So understanding what is the best strategy, how do you scale this better and stuff. And the most concerning bit is cost. While there are so many components, what to use, how to use, you keep on adding multiple components, saying, okay, this will speed up my website. This is what is the right thing. This is the latest thing. If your configuration is wrong, or if you have not architected in the right way, your bill at the end of the month is very difficult to calculate. As in, it depends. Let's say in 1 month you got suddenly you got a spike, or you got DDoS. Somebody just your competitor just started attacking you, and he just started eating crazy amount of bandwidth from your website. And at the end of the month, you saw your bill was 5 times what it is normally. How do you keep these things under control, right? So these are normal concerns with cloud. And how have we got, or how have we understood these features? We actually spoke to a lot of you. We ran multiple calls. We ourselves spoke to almost 150, 200 plus resellers who have been in this business, who have been doing this. And this is what came as a feedback, that this is the biggest problem. While they would enjoy doing this, they enjoy creating those architectures, they enjoy deploying on cloud. The problem is, who owns it long term? If there is something, who's going to admin my product in the long term, and how do I keep my costs down? I don't know how much it's going to cost me to keep that website running at the end of the day. So these are definitely concerns with cloud. So what we try to do with our product, we try to solve these problems to an extent. Again, we don't have a solution that fits all. There is never a solution that fits all in the cloud world, but we obviously try to solve the solution or create a solution for the uh, majority of the use cases. So from when we spoke to people, what kind of sites you run, what kind of stacks do you run? Do you run lamp stack? Do you run other custom stacks? So the majority use case is what we wanted to target first. So what you see we have built is the first version of it. That means we have tried to solve a particular use case. The product will evolve with and add multiple use cases as well, but this should cover at least 85-90% of your use cases as well.
We solve this. So we worked with Google and created a custom design. We architected a completely custom design for ourselves. So this is something that has been built using Google components, but this is not something that you can get from Google out of the box. You can't tell me, okay, give me this configuration that Reseller Club is using. That's not available with Google out of the box. So we engaged with Google. We went across multiple iterations. We came up with an architecture which helps us give the performance as well as scalability, but keeps our cost under control. And we also want to ensure the latency, the experience for the customer is not impacted. So all these were considerations that were put when we worked around this. Uh, we use the latest hardware, right? So the latest generation CPU, RAM, storage, and network was used. The way the product is architected is we will always keep on using the latest generation CPUs, RAM, whatever comes in, we will get a move on to that and ensure that you are getting the best performance, the best bang for your buck. uh, the the architecture was done using pre-built load balancers and stuff. So tomorrow, if you start hitting from like, let's say you are getting 100 or 200 visitors a minute, from that you want to scale to 500 visitors a minute, you don't have to migrate your data, migrate your website from plan A to plan B or something. The one click of a button, you can actually scale to the next level, and you start supporting 500 visitors a minute. It's that seamless. Uh, we integrated CDNs and stuff. So no matter where your customer is coming from, the latency is always low. Caching is taken care of. They get the latest data, and we use premium caching and not what is freely available or the cheapest level of caching. And it's customized to our use cases and stuff. Uh, all of this was packed into an easy to use interface. So the idea was for you not to bother about the architecture, and how to use it is very simple. So you don't have to figure out, okay, what component do I need for this, I need to remove. All that is simplified. And the best of it, we created prepaid plans. So like, because most of you we know are used to working with prepaid plans, right? I think you have used uh, prepaid shared hosting, prepaid cloud sites. You have used VPSs, Steady. All these products are prepaid. So we wanted to keep this prepaid as well. So a cloud product built on Google Cloud, but it is prepaid. That's what I would call this as. So how do the plans look like, right? So the plans are pretty straightforward. They are similar to what you see. One core, two gigs of RAM, file storage, and so the DBs have been separated out for performance. Uh, Premium CDN, cloud backups, Redis caching, again premium Redis caching, fully managed infra is available across. Uh, these plans you see, two core 8 gigs RAM, 4 core 16 gig RAMs. All these components, obviously in future, you will be able to add more storage, add more DB space, add more bandwidth as you require. And you can even jump from one plan to the other to ensure that your parallel users are increased. You also need to understand that this one core CPU and 2 gig RAM is a lot better than your normal traditional VPS 1 core and 1 GB RAM, because you're using the latest version, right? The latest generation. While in VPSs, it might be an older architecture which is still being oversold, and that's how traditionally RAMs, VPSs, and stuff are normally built. So this is so that you understand how it is simple for you also to try and get an idea of what your sites will look for, or how to decide a package for yourself. Again, so what I will do is I will give you a small demo. I have a recording that I will run through and just take you through what this looks like. I'll just so this is whoever is already with Reseller Club. They know this as the Express card. So once you, so this is how you can buy it from your Express cards. Uh, it's added under servers, professional cloud. Once you go there, you will find this. So if you see the product by, it begins in a completely different way, right? So to start off, we are supporting these five CMSs again as this first version. So these are predefined. You just click on the CMS. Once you click on the CMS, you will get an option of, okay, what's the configuration that you're looking for? So small, medium, large, the one that you saw over there. Ignore the prices over here. These are obviously test accounts and stuff. So the pricing will look weird over here. Uh, Once you add that, just either attach a domain name or skip, add it to whichever account. Again, this is your normal Express card flow. Done. Once you place your order, that's done. Sorry, I skipped back. So you placed your order and you go to management. When you click on management, manage your order, you directly land into your order box control panel, from where you can, once the order is activated, it takes around 5 minutes to get activated as the everything is getting provisioned. You can access your panel. Now this is the panel that we have created new, that is built on top of the cloud product, the GCP cloud product, and this is very different from any GCP or any cloud product out there in the market. So you chose WordPress in the beginning. So here, when you log in, you will see WordPress is pre-installed for the domain name that you chose. If you don't put in a domain name, we will obviously give you a temporary domain name till you decide to point the domain name over here. So there is no installation that you have to go through. There is no configuration that you have to go through. Everything is pre-configured based on the application you chose, and this will directly give you your my bad. Yeah, this will directly give you your application. So based on the application, now since this is WordPress, you will see the WordPress version auto updates are enabled. the default username password that was chosen. You will see login to admin panel as an option. You can directly log into WP admin from here. Similarly, you have access to launch PHP my admin from here. You if you want FTP or SSH access, you can set the password from here itself. So these options are available directly in this panel. uh, this is something that you obviously are aware of. PHP admin, it takes you directly into the PHP admin. For your package, you can run queries, or if you want to upload, download, that's one thing that you can do. The domain name, we didn't use any domain name, so the domain name is blank. Here you only see a temporary domain name. That is how you are resolving. It will also show you the name servers that you need to use. So you just have to change the name servers. Everything else, all the records and stuff are handled by us itself. So you just use the free DNS servers that you get with the Reseller Club, and your website would run without a problem. Uh, from here, we also have SSL integrated. So the SSL integrated over here is Cloudflare SSL. We don't use right now. We don't support any custom SSL, but we are giving you Cloudflare SSL, not Let's Encrypt or anything. It's Cloudflare based SSL because that's the premium CDN that we have attached in front of this particular package. Backups, as I said, cloud backups are pre-integrated. So again, you add website is installed, your backups start automatically. You don't have to do anything. You have separate DB and content backup. You will get emails every day on if any modification has happened on any of your file. You will get a full picture of what's happening. So again, this is pre-integrated, seamless. You don't have to go and activate this, pre-activated. So that's how backups also work over here. And yeah, that's how this particular product works. So while we have shown you how the management is, how what we did for architecture and stuff, so what's the kind of performance that you should expect from this particular uh, package as such, right? So I'll show you a site that I created. I created this yesterday just for this demo. This is live. You can actually go to this website right now also if you want to check. It's pro-cloud-demo.com. So this is a WordPress site that I spun up. I have generated some data in this using FakerPress. There are a few plugins installed in this and stuff. So this is like a normal use case of a website, right? So when you open it, you will understand the speed at which it is loading. But just to give you an idea of, again, this, we have not gone ahead and done any optimization. This is a default install with FakerPress, and it has a lot of almost 50-60 plus posts added with comments and stuff. So it is pretty loaded. And if you look at this page also, it is heavy with graphics. So it's firing DB queries and doing multiple things. It's just not a plain text. So once this is done, I just ran just to check the speed index. This is on the Google page speed. So if you look at when the benchmark was done, it was literally done like almost an hour back. And if you look at the speed, look at the first contentful pane, look at the speed index, look at how fast. This is the desktop version. Again, this is using custom throttling. Again, default, no special changes done for this. This is using cloud's own infra. So that's how this looks. And on mobile also with slow 4G throttling, still the performance says 99. So if the way you see the performance out of the box is very fast, it's very quick. It's what you would get once you put in your website over here without having to do any optimizations yourself. So what's the cost benefit, right? I've spoken about all the architecture. I've spoken about the performance. I've spoken about how cloud has its problems when it comes to long-term maintenance strategies and stuff. So I just wanted to now share how does or what cost benefit the product has for you, right? So if you look at this, so the plans that you saw, the plan A, plan B, plan C, that 1 core, 2 GB, 4 core, 8 GB, and 2 core, 8 GB, 4 core, 16 GB, with all those specs. What we did is we went to these different services, the services that you use out of the box, and we try to calculate the cost if you buy the same plan directly with them. Remember one thing, this is just the infra cost. This is not the cost of management. This is not the cost of cloud backups and everything that you are attaching, right? So if you just go and buy raw infra from these places, this is what it costs you. Even the default Google platform that's there, if you go and try and buy this components from them separately, they cost you the amount that you see over here. So something that the professional cloud, that's an indicative cost, so that's approximately, that's where we will land this at. But this just gives you an idea of what is the cost differential. Now you are looking at the infra, I would want to take you to one, think about it one step deeper. What is the cost of managing this server? Because that by default, if you buy any IaaS from any cloud provider, that's by default the biggest cost that you have, right? So let's say somebody architects your server, they take approximately 2 hours to architect for you. Uh, that's one type cost, obviously. Then once the server is provisioned, they will ensure the initial setup is done, all the Linux, Apache, PHP, MySQL configuration, all this installation, everything is done. Server hardening is done. They put in IP tables, they ensure all best practices are, they upgrade everything. Let's say they take 2 hours, 3 hours for server hardening. So that's the approximate amount of time you require if you hire a system admin. In international, obviously the costs are higher. I have taken far lower cost, frankly. I have taken a cost as low as $15. It's obviously a lot higher, but even if you assume it to be $15 an hour, still you spend almost like $100 plus just for initial setup. In India, even with the cheaper layer, assuming that you are going to get this done at 500 rupees an hour, cheap labor, let's say you get a person who does this at a freelancer who does this at 500 bucks an hour, they will still charge you three and a half, 4,000 bucks just for the initial setup. And then there is regular maintenance, right? Backing up your website, ensuring backups are working. There are updates in whatever PHP version, any version that you are looking at, other versions as well. Your MySQL is throwing some error or it needs upgrade. There is some tuning that needs to be done because my customers are seeing timeout. Um, the sites are running slow. How do we optimize this further? There are multiple things. You will need regular maintenance. I am counting in a month, let's say you need that support for 8 hours, not more. In the entire month, only 8 hours. That's one working day, for example. Still, you spend around 4,000 rupees India, or in external markets around $120 for this. So if you look at this cost on top of, I would say, this cost, you get an idea of how costly that service is. While if you buy the professional cloud product, you just buy the product, you have built your website, let's say it's WordPress, you just deploy WordPress, we already take care of auto updates, all infra, all backups, everything we are taking care of. You want to scale, you don't have to do anything, one click you upgrade to the next plan, you are done. So that's the benefit you get. You want backups, they are cloud backups pre-configured, you don't have to do anything around that. All that is available. So that's how they are said. Now, which websites is this suitable for? Frankly, this is suitable for each and every website there in the market, and that's how we are defining this product. Uh, for the current version, I would say the 5 CMSs that you saw are the first stepping stone. In the next few months, we will allow you to have your custom lamp stack. So if you're using Laravel or any other framework, maybe you are using a custom framework and stuff, you should be able to tackle all your lamp stack websites directly via this. Obviously, there will be some changes in the UI, so you will not have admin access and stuff, because we don't know how you have admin or how you log into admin and stuff. So it will just be access and stuff, and that's how we'll do this. So that will also be available. later we plan to go with custom stacks as well. So we don't want to get limited to PHP, MySQL, Apache Lamp stacks. We don't mind going with other stacks, Python, Ruby, whatever is needed. Maybe we'll go with that as well, depending on what we see, what request we receive from you as the user. So that's where uh, we see this product going as such. So yeah, this is like the roadmap that we are working on right now. So this is already something that we've already planned. Right now, the region is optimized for India. It's the region that we have is Singapore. It's not India specific. Again, there was a reason. All components that we wanted were not present in the India region, so we went for Singapore, which was the nearest region. So the latencies, even if you look at the latency, even with Singapore, is brilliant. You can look at it from across the world. Because of CDN, you will not find any performance issues as such. The next item being built is multi-website support. Right now, for every plan that you see, we just support one website. Uh, that will increase in a month or month and a half, I believe, max. You will have multiple websites that are supported. You have Then you have custom lamp applications. As I said, you have your own framework. You want to use something apart from WordPress, Drupal, and all these five sites. You can use that as well. A custom SSL. Right now, we give Cloudflare SSL by default. You want some other SSL, that will be there. Seamless upgrades between plans, plan A to plan B to plan C. Right now, it's something that we can do for you, but it's not available at one click as of now. But that's not a big blocker, I would say. Then you have other add-ons like bandwidth, disk space, RAM, backups, and stuff. Each and every component you can increase based on your use case. You might not, you might just need more disk space, but you don't see that you are going to get too many customers, so you just want to increase disk space. So stuff like that can be done. uh, CDN controls. Right now, CDN is by default, we have optimized CDN. We are not giving any controls to the user to modify the level or the aggressiveness of that CDN. So that will be built in. Again, as I said, custom stacks, Node.js, Python, etc., depending on the request that you get in, and multiple regions. So allowing you to deploy in one or multiple regions. You want to deploy it in US or US India, both. All those are things that will come up in our plans. So a lot to see, a lot more is getting done. So this is going to be really interesting. As the product builds, it's going to get pretty uh, as in heavy when it comes with features. Cool. So that's all I had for you guys. You can reach out to me on my Twitter handle, on my LinkedIn, or uh, I'm also available. If you could get in touch with any AM or anybody from the support, they can also help you connect to me as well. But I would now want to take questions from you. Any questions that you have, uh, please go for it. I will just stop sharing my screen, and I'll take the questions. Perfect. So we'll start with Gaurang will put in one. For extra precaution of security of Google or data Google provide, data Google Cloud provide. So Google obviously has its own layers of security. As in, if you actually go to Google's website and figure out and see how they have built this and all, it's a very secure architecture. Again, as I said, your Gmail to your G Suite, YouTube, everything is working on Google, right? So that's the same architecture that's provided to you. Security wise, I don't think so there is any concern over here as well. And again, the product that we designed, we didn't design it ourselves. We worked with Google. So they have helped us follow a proper security framework and stuff as well. I guess this is something that we've already taken care of. Uh, the next one is Yogesh. Yogesh, you have asked, is it possible to select the server location? As I said, right now, no. But in the near future, yes, that's something that we'll take up. We want to build a few other things before we go on to the location bit. Someone called as product tester. Which cloud region So cloud region, as I said, Singapore is the cloud region right now. New regions coming in later. Yeah. So Satyabhushan Sinha, what level of management as am I as a customer supposed to take responsibility of? Will I need to do OS level patches and upgrades? That's the beauty of this product. You just have to take care of your website. So if you have a WordPress blog or a WordPress site, you tackle your WordPress site, all OS, all patching, all PHP versions, MySQL versions, everything is handled by us. So it's a completely managed cloud infra for you. So you just take care of your website. You keep on adding content to your website. If there are version upgrades for your website that are going to break, so let's say if you're using WordPress a legacy version and a new major version comes in that case you have to take care of your WordPress, because if we force upgrade, the site will break. So we would not want to do that. But uh, everything else is tackled by us. So no server or OS upgrades is something that you have to look at. We will do that, even the patches. uh, Product tester, do you have multiple domain names? As I said, multiple domain names coming up in the next month or two. You should have multiple domain names in the same package as of now. Gorang, what if allocated cloud space and other resource goes beyond limits? What will the pricing for that? Gorang, as I said, if you are going above limit, we will give you the option of adding more space and stuff, and it will be in line with what we are selling. We are obviously, we don't want to give you that billing shock and just charge you exorbitant. So it will be in line with what you are seeing. Either you upgrade the package or you add more resources, but obviously it will be based on the plan cost. It will be very much in line with that. We will obviously not charge you for 5 gigs or 10 gigs storage as much as the plan. That obviously will not happen. Krishna is asking, any 1 month trial to check server like Linode or Digital. You can reach out to your AM. I don't think there is a problem in giving you guys a trial. Again, we should be fine doing that. So please reach out to your AM for the same. Satyabhushan Sinha, I think eliminating postpaid billing from is a good idea. I have suffered on audio. I completely agree. And again, as I said, this is from your feedback itself, right? We have spoken to you multiple times and you guys have told us that this is a problem. And that's why we wanted to try and solve this problem for you. Anurag, okay, I have few questions on the same. Okay. Your first question is cloud storage and backup service can be purchased standalone or so cloud storage and backup, all of this is already pre-integrated. So you don't have to buy anything separately. All this is already there. If you run out of space, then you have to increase that space. So that's how the product is defined. Even the backup that we are using, we are giving you backup that compresses and stuff. So if you buy a 5 gig backup package, that might actually back up almost 8 to 10 gigs or more of your website data, because obviously there is a lot of compression unless and until you are using media which cannot be compressed. So all of that is pre-attached. You just have to buy for any additional that you need, but you don't have to pay anything extra for all of those components in the package. Anurag has one more. Will it support incremental backup? This is the backup you see is already incremental backup. So it takes one copy and then incrementally every time there is a change, it has that change. So the backup already has that logic built in. Kanakya is asking, do we need separate SSL? No, Kanakya, out of the box, we are already giving you free Cloudflare SSL, which will never expire, both for the temporary domain name as well as the live domain name. So both domain names will have a certificate which will not expire. So if you want to use the free certificate, you don't have to buy a new certificate. That's already bundled in with the package. Right now, Ale has asking Nginx support. Right now, we don't have Nginx support. But if your application needs that support, reach out to us. Let's figure out what is the performance benefit you're seeing on that. Right now, we don't support Nginx at the moment. Micro Mishra is asking, can I run WordPress and Drupal on the same plan? Once we have multi-domain support, yes, you will be able to run multiple different applications on the same node pool that has been defined to you as itself. So let's say if you have 2 or 3 domain name support, you can have one WordPress, one Drupal, one WooCommerce, everything running on the same package. That should be doable. That shouldn't be a problem. Gautam, when can we expect framework like Laravel and Code99 will be available in an Indian region location? Gautam, the problem with Indian location is that a lot of components are not supported in the India location. So Singapore location is what we are looking at right now. But as you saw the roadmap, that is something that we will take up. I can't guarantee you by when, but it's on the roadmap. You can keep on connecting with your aims and stuff to get the latest on where the roadmap has reached, and we should be able to take it up. But maybe next 3 to 6 months is when we should be able to support the custom this thing frameworks as well. Demo available to watch later? I don't think so. This demo is there, but the site will remain running. So pro-cloud-demo.com is there up and running. You can play around. You can do whatever you want with that website. It will stay up for till at least a year, I guess. But the package, the panel demo, if you want, reach out to your AM. We'll be able to give you the panel demo as well. WP-CLI provided with the SSH. WP-CLI is already provided. You should be able to take advantage of that. Multi-domain, Makarand, as I said, around a month to 2 months is what we are expecting. So yeah, that's we will stick to that. And any other updates, you can reach out to your AMs or the sales team whenever you want to follow. Gautam, as I have to run some fintech product and server, it has to be India location. Gautam, I understand that, but as I said, India location doesn't support everything as of now, and that's where the limitation is. So if we move this to India, maybe there are XYZ components that are not present over there. So our architecture will not run, and that's the reason we don't want to. Or I would have actually launched this in India rather than Singapore, as in that was the first priority for us, but we couldn't do that. But if possibly Google, we'll figure out if there is a roadmap with Google where they can commit that, okay, in X number of uh, uh, months, they will have all those components as well. Maybe India is a location that we can launch. I don't see why not. We should be able to launch that. Makarand, I don't think so. This webinar will be publicly available. There is some data that we cannot share in the market. So that's the reason we will not be sharing that. But if there are specific components or if you want to have a conversation, do reach out. I can talk to you one-on-one as well. I don't have a problem. Any other questions? Anything that you guys want to ask? I hope this was helpful and this product makes sense. Frankly, this has been, Karakya, all plugins work. There is nothing that we are restricting. It's as a normal package for you. Ale need extra storage. We will be building capability of increasing storage as well. So you won't have to forcefully upgrade. As one of the use case that I said is that your plan A works for you when it comes to CPU RAM and you just need more storage. That will be something that we'll support. Perfect, team. I guess we have all the questions. If you do have questions, please reach out. You have my details. You can even call on the help desk, and they should be able to connect you to me as well. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot, everyone, for attending this. And yeah.